Good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. Medical experts are clear that double vaccination is more than 99.5% effective at preventing serious illness, with virtually no risk. But even those who are double vaccinated are at risk from those who are unvaccinated, and that risk includes the possibility of passing COVID on to others. It is clear, according to Jewish law, I've shared this with you many times before, that every eligible person should be double vaccinated as quickly as possible, even those who had COVID, as the current regulations and recommendations state. And this is required according to multiple commandments and sources in the Torah and in Jewish law. V'nishmartem ma'od lenafshosechem. We must be exceedingly cautious concerning our health. Dina de Malchusa Dina, the law of the land is the law. The rules about getting vaccination apply to us as a matter of Jewish law. And ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, we have to love our fellow as we love ourselves. We have to treat others the way that we would want to be treated. We would not want someone to infect us with a disease that is potentially serious or even fatal, and we may not do that to others. It is also clear that Jewish law prioritizes public safety over the rights of individuals. Just to quote a couple of examples, the Rambam, in his major halakhic work Mishnah Torah, in his laws of Hilchos Rotzeach Ushmiras HaNefesh, his laws against taking life and protecting life. The sages have prohibited many things because they are dangerous to life. If anyone disregards them and says, "What claim have others on me if I risk my life? I do not mind this risk. Why should you be concerned if I don't mind this risk?" That person is wrong and must be held accountable, and the society must take priority in protecting the members of society. Also, in his work, Mishnah Torah, his major halakhic work, he writes that when the rights of the individual threaten public safety, Jewish law prioritizes measures that protect the public, including taxes, banning the offender from public areas, and other measures. Just to give one modern example of this in application, Rabbi Eliezer Waldenberg, one of the great halakhic authorities, especially in the area of medical ethics of the previous generation who lived in Yerushalayim, he wrote that a public may ban smoking in public places to prevent smokers from polluting the air and harming others with secondhand smoke. Though it is clear that smoking is unhealthy and that Jewish law requires someone to stop smoking, even if a person does so, they do not have the right to inflict that on someone else. So the rights of the society take priority in protecting them from the harm that would come from someone smoking. So a place, a building, an organization, an entity has the right to prohibit that smoking on the part of the individual in order to prevent the harm to the community. The Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserles, writing in the Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, writes, Beis Din has the authority to impose sanctions on someone until he removes a dangerous object. So that means an object that could cause harm to someone, or a situation that could cause harm to someone else. For example, someone who could spread a disease. It may ban their family from synagogue. And in a practical application of this just a few years ago, a different situation, but in an analogous situation, in November 2018, in certain parts of the United States, there was a measles outbreak. And Agudas Yisrael, the major organization of the Haredi Jewish world, wrote, "It is incumbent upon all members of the community to ensure that they and their children receive measles vaccination. Even for those not inclined to vaccinate, this is required of them based on the principle Chamira Sakanta Me'isura. The stringency that we take when something is dangerous is even more severe than the stringency that we take when something is prohibited according to ritual law." In addition, they wrote, there is an obligation to be vaccinated based on the mitzvah of V'nishmartem ma'od lenafshosechem, to pay exceeding attention to protecting our health. They wrote further, nobody has the right to endanger others by not vaccinating their children. We urge all schools, playgroups, and shuls to ban any child or adult who has not been vaccinated. This is nothing less than a matter of pikuach nefesh. This approach is mirrored in secular law. The first famous case was in 1905 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Henning Jacobson was arrested for refusing to take a smallpox vaccine, and he was fined $5. He appealed that decision, claiming that the government had infringed on his right not to be vaccinated. That case finally went to the United States Supreme Court. And in Jacobson versus Massachusetts, the Supreme Court ruled that when an individual's right to refuse medical treatment challenges a government's obligation to protect the health of its citizens and prevent disease, the government may require individuals to be vaccinated. This established the government's authority to fine those who refuse vaccination and is the legal basis for vaccine requirements in schools. And that decision has been upheld in subsequent decisions, both in the United States, in Canada, and in many, many other countries. The lay leadership of ADATH has decided that for the upcoming high holidays, we will require advance registration for seats for all services, the services inside our sanctuary, the services outside in our tent. Just like last year, advance registration will be required, and registration will require proof of double vaccination. We take this step to provide the safest environment for those who come to ADATH. Everyone who comes will know they are surrounded by others who are double vaccinated. Everyone who comes will know that we have provided the safest environment in which to welcome them for these high holidays. And we take this step to fulfill our highest responsibility in Jewish law, to protect health. I urge everyone, if it is applicable to you, to take the steps necessary today to provide your proof of vaccination on time with your registration. Now, of course, the situation can change between now and then, and our policies and plans may also change accordingly. But if we look today at Israel and parts of the United States, we see that despite earlier successes, the Delta variant is causing great damage, pain, suffering, and even death, except to those who are fully vaccinated. Our step is intended to help us end COVID sooner, with less loss and less pain, and return to normal as soon as possible. My friends, I want to wish you a great day, a healthy day, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon in person.